Hey, it's Jason ODB, and we're going to take a look back at about 21 years ago, a little over 21 years ago, at Street Trucks, July 2001. I'll see if I can insert a photo here. Craig Elder, in my opinion, had the baddest run ever with feature vehicles, including really covers. Only a couple of his rides that I know of didn't grace the cover, in this era. But I posted one day, I went through all of my magazines and I tried to find everything, and I believe I even left one out, if you can believe it. And it's just an insane run that he went on. When I was out with Jeff Davey, you could check out the shop tour on Lincoln Addict, my other channel. Jeff showed me a bunch of photos from Craig's place, and the stuff is just, there's abandoned trucks out there that are from this era. It is nuts. But this is what I think, if I remember correctly, Steve Stillwell would write about X Marks the Spot. He wrote about that in Street Trucks back in the day. And you just have a very cool kind of staged photo here of, I believe it's Craig. And you basically have his girlfriend or wife, I don't know. But at the time, basically his partner in crime, you have her amazing Tahoe in the back that you can barely see kind of there, but still it adds like the badassery, if you will. They would often, I believe, Photoshop the Street Trucks in there because it looks like the old school California plate, and it looks like it is Photoshopped, which I think is great. And then I believe that's Wendy. She owned the Tahoe. You got the old Street Trucks logo. They would sometimes put flames in it. This was in the era right before Crew Cut was given away. We had Joey and Heather on last year, literally almost to the day that they won Crew Cut. So check that episode out. You could search Joey and Heather Crew Cut, Our Lifestyle Podcast, if you want to listen to that episode. But this is just one of my favorite covers. One, it's got Crew Cut, the giveaway. But two, that orange-ish color on the lifted Excursion is just insane. And this era I so miss because you had a lot of different stuff being built, and not saying that people aren't building cool lifted trucks, but man, dude, this was the era. So let's look at just this feature, right? So these are kind of condensed flip throughs. You had this epic photo, and you had the Excursion, Wendy's Tahoe, and then the van that Craig had. And I always get these confused. There were two vans, and there was one that was epic that was made into this van. I think last time I said it was the green one, but it was it the yellow one? I can't remember. You guys will comment. But this van had a lot of lineage going back even before Craig having it. The triple axle trailer all painted to match. There was a photo on Street Source years ago of this whole rig without this kind of blurred effect. And I shared that photo, and I couldn't believe how many views it got many years ago. I always try to hashtag Craig Elder, literally, on Instagram. And those are the few posts that I've kind of curated together. What I'm doing is I'm going back and organizing all my street trucks. There's really a lot of just epic stuff. Like right here is Halfway to Hell. I'll go over that one in the future. That's Herbs laced up with a Camaro Dash. There's so many good issues these early years. And I just cannot get enough. But what I wanted to do is just look at the Titan, they called it. And you can see here a little bit of a glare. I usually will kind of do that in the middle so that they'll stay, so we can actually get a view there. But here you have the most insane Ford Excursion to tread the planet by BMC. When Brian McCormick when we had him on the podcast, I believe he kind of said, he had built a strong relationship with Craig. So it was like, hey, when he was building stuff, it was, for the most part, it was like, yo, let me know when it's done. We're going to come shoot it. Now, by today's standards, I think a lot of us would look and go, wow, the wheels are small. But again, this was the era, and I kind of really dig it, man. I'd love to own something like this or even just see it at a show. Shout out to Craig Elder, man. We'd love to have him on the podcast in the future. And just an insane run that he went on. This was the rear shot that I kind of really, I really dug this one because you got all the powder coat and painted items there with the huge tires. You got the truck just insane for an Excursion to be lifted that high. And sure, there's been some sense, but Craig was really pushing the limits back then. He kind of went through, I think that era, you went through kind of some of this leopard print type stuff for interior. He would go crazy with the tint, you know, some of the flames. Of course, that was the era of the TV and the headrest and the flip down TV. You don't really see that stuff much anymore, I guess, because phones have taken over, I guess, thanks to iPhone, thanks to Apple. Another classic shot here, just that whole front end looking sick. I saw his Ford F350 at SEMA years ago. And again, I posted a couple of things, but you see there, Craig Elder, Fallbrook, Cali. This one's a 2000 Ford Excursion. And it'd be one thing to lift one, but to have everything paint and powder coated, you know, sometimes double, sometimes triple convoluted bags, everything kind of reinforced, air valves out the you-know-what, hitting switches way before these kids were thinking about doing the stuff they're doing to trucks today. Squatted, haha. So I think that's it. But again, just one of my favorite issues. I wanted to kind of show it here. Kind of a little bit shorter video, but the Titan, just crazy epic stuff, epic times in the scene. Love that Brian McCormick shot a lot of his stuff. Again, you've got the table of contents and that epic cover. Stay on the rise, y'all. Consider subscribing. We out to ya. Peace.